Me, Renee, I'm back. So, this month, it's November nonfiction. It's actually soon December, but still November at this point. I'm going to post this during November, so it still works. So I decided I wanted to post a little top 5 books, um, top 5 nonfiction faves, nonfiction books that I love. I suppose kind of self-explanatory, really. But anyway, there, here they are. 5 books, and I'm just gonna start, I suppose. As usual, I wouldn't really say I have any really don't have any really order for them. Really, it's just arbitrary. Really, the first book I'm decided to start with is 60 damer du skulle møtt. It's a Norwegian book, of course. It translates to 60 ladies you should have met. It's by the feminist and journalist Marta Breen, and he has illustrations by Jenny Jordan. It's the same author who wrote Women in Battle, and she's also written things you should know about women, which is about a quiz book around women. And then she also has a quote book about women. Yeah, she has quite a few books really lately. She started writing, I think maybe 2010 or something, about females in mass media and stuff, and then she's just kind of gotten lots of book out about those stuff. So this book, I suppose it is. If you think like Goodnight Stones for Rebel Girls, it's kind of the same thing. So you have like a have like a person, and then you have it's a cartoon. So uh, it's a cartoon, and then you have the biography of the persons. But instead of having like just a picture and then story, you have the whole cartoon here. Actually, I haven't read it yet. I read a bit in it last year, but actually, I haven't read it yet. Kind of think I'm gonna read it this week. I'm actually kind of thinking of just reading, focusing more on nonfiction this last week of November, actually, which is what I've been doing this today and yesterday. So yeah, I'm not sure if this has been translated to English yet. If it has, I'm thinking a lot of the females in here are very like specific to Norwegian culture and stuff. They probably are the kind of interesting for non-Norwegians. I don't know, but at least for me, it's a very good book. And yeah, I suppose you could say, Renee, you haven't read it. How can it be one of your faves? Well, I'm pretty sure it will be one of my favorite books. I love Marta Breen. I love the illustrator. I love the concept behind it, and yeah, I like what I read so far. Then we have Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. It's her. It's actually both her biography, but also kind of a kind of a essay collection. Really, she both writes about her childhood and her life, but she also writes about being in Hollywood and just kind of life, like being an actress and the reality of that. Really, and I would say it's both a book if you like Gilmore Girls. It's a book if you love Gilmore Girls. If it's a book if you want to read something fun and fast paced, easily read, yeah, I think this is a book for everyone, really, more or less. And then we have a bit of spoilers, I suppose this is should say. Sorry, this sorry, this video could actually be named top 5 or 5 biographies I love because all these are biographies. Yeah, well, I haven't read that much nonfiction, and what I mostly read are biographies, and the non-biographies I've read so far, I haven't loved. So maybe in the future I'll do one non-biographies. Next up, we have We Should Hang Out Sometime by Josh Schunquist. He's actually a YouTuber, I suppose you could call him a booktuber in a way because he actually wrote this book, so he's a booktuber and YouTuber. I would say I think it's mostly a YouTuber. I heard about this book a few years ago. I think a few years ago, yeah, from the Vlogbrothers. I think I'm not sure where I heard. I think I heard from the Vlogbrothers. Anyway, it's a book. It's a biography of this guy's quest to found sorry, to find love. It's kind of fun because usually you have romance and stuff are usually from the girl's point of view, so it's fun to see this guy trying to find a girlfriend because he's never had a girlfriend before. Quite end the book really. So it's him actually taking a look back on his life and thinking, why didn't it work out with this girl who I almost had a thing with, and why didn't it work out with this girl? And it's very funny, and it actually takes a fun look on his life. He's both from a sorry religious background and also from he also has a thing with his foot, so he has that's a disability thing with him. So you have that aspect. So it's quite a fun aspect really to look at life from. It's yeah, it's very funny, but also like thought provoking, I would say in some ways. And yeah, I would say if you want to get into biographies, try this one. It's pretty good, pretty damn good. I film a lot of videos now, so I'm starting to film with my voice. So the next book, it's Popular by Maya Van Wagen. It came out a few years ago in 2014. It's about this 13-year-old who finds an uh, old book about how to be stylish from the 1950s, and she wants to kind of be more popular and stuff. So she decides to try to use tips from this old, but I suppose in some way relevant book. So I suppose it's kind of weird in a way to biography of a 15-year-old because she's not a celebrity, she's just a person. But it's also kind of fun to like to read a real life story from a 15-year-old. Really, she's written herself biography. It's their own name. Well, autobiography really. And yeah, I would say this is really fun to read into the normal life of a teenager in 2014 and how to be more popular or not. And you should check this one out as well. Lastly, we have, and this is probably not a surprise, you probably heard it from everyone, but anyway, I'm going to recommend it as well. Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. I read it last year, 2 years ago. It doesn't matter that much really. But yeah, I first knew him as a comedian, as I think most people thought about him as. And then he came up with this biography a few years ago, Born a Crime, because he actually is kind of weird, but yeah, when he was born, he was he was a mix between Caucasian and African, and there was a crime in South Africa in a way in that time. So it chronicles his childhood and his upbringing, and yeah, writes very good. You both see the different aspects of South Africa. You see how his life was, and yeah, it's really insightful and interesting and good. And yeah, I would highly, highly recommend this one. Very good story. So yeah, uh, uh, my 5 non-fiction, as was more correctly, biographies recommendations that I recommend and that are my favorites. If you have any tips yourself, link them. Just tell me in the doobly-doo. In the comments. You can tell me in doobly-doo. And bye bye. Renee out.